Cat Talk live on IntellectualRadio.com. I am your host, Cat, and I'm here with my beautiful co-host, the beautiful Wanda B.
Hey.
We got some sponsors today.
We sure do. I just want to get some housekeeping out the way real quick. We have two sponsors. We'd like to have you go check out Journey to Wholeness Wellness Center, which is at 9601 New England in Oak Lawn, Illinois, where you can go heal your mind, body, spirit. Please check out their website at journeytowholeness.org because they have a lot of workshops coming up here in September. Laughter yoga. They have yoga classes every day of the week. Really fun workshops coming up. So I really want you to check that out, journeytowholeness.org. And we also have Ullman Home Improvement, which is at 11636 Pulaski in Alsip, 773-238-1829. You can tell George that I sent you. You can say that Wanda B said, check you out. If you need any windows, doors, home improvement, they really specialize in repairing windows and screens, so you don't have to go out and buy all new. He does a lot of repairs.
Okay, you know how your kids poke them holes in those screens.
Exactly, and you feel like you need a whole new door. You can call them out and they'll fix it for you.
It's mosquito season. Don't let them in your house. Okay, today on Dear Cat, on Cat Talk, we're gonna do a Dear Cat letter, and the topic today is snooping a disease? A lot of us women, you know, we like to snoop.
We're snoopers.
We're snoopers. We just
not me, but the other one.
I think we all guilty of
snooping
in some form of fashion. But I'm saying
okay, yes,
one of my biggest pet peeves when I was in like middle school, high school, and I started taking a public transportation bus is that if something was going on outside, if there was an older person, preferably a woman, on the bus, they would stand up and be looking out the window, and they would be so nosy. And they used to bug the mess out of me, like, sit down before you fall. I don't know why, but that's always been a big pet peeve of mine. But women, I think we might just be natural private investigators.
I think we are. Not all of us, of course, not all of us, but in some ways, I know if I see my neighbor and there's a car parked outside, then I'm like, oh, who is that? Who he have over there? And I'm looking, and so I'm going to look at that, but I'm not going to get totally in your business. I may snoop a little. I'm not going to get all in your business.
But there's some of us that do.
And so there's some of us that do. Let's talk about that.
Cat letter is about someone that has got the bug or the snoop bug on them, and they trying to figure themselves out. So I'm going to get right into it. I have never been insecure or jealous before, but lately I've been on something crazy. My husband got a new job working around a lot of professional, nice looking women. It didn't bother me at first, but recently we went to his company picnic and I actually saw these ladies with my own eyes. He was laughing and joking with them and just interacting in a way that he never really does with me. We argued all the way home that night because I felt some kind of way. Since then, I've been checking his phone, emails, pockets, and watching his social media pages. I have seen a few questionable things on social media where a woman might overly like a post or picture or might make a flirty comment, but he is very, very careful with his phone and keeps it close to him. It isn't password protected or anything, so when I get to it, I go through it as much as I can. I've seen a couple of texts that could possibly be flirtatious. It looks like he's been deleting the conversations though. I've asked him multiple times if he's cheating, but he constantly denies. I want to confront him about the text messages. I want to call the number of the person he's texting. I called it private, and I already know it's a woman. But how do I confront him without telling him that I've been snooping? I don't want to tell him myself, but I can't get past this. I can't trust him, and I can't stop looking.
Oh, so many things going on in that letter. Okay, so she starts out by saying, I've never been insecure or jealous. So when did it start?
Now? You are now.
You are now. I think you are. It sounds like you may be a little bit insecure and jealous.
She might be a lot of it.
A lot of it, okay.
A lot of it insecure and jealous. I think the first indication is you are comparing yourself to these other women that he works with. I mean, he brought you to the picnic. It wasn't like he works with these women and then he says he's married, but he never brings a wife around. You're there.
And you're insecure if can he only work with ugly women? Does he have to go to
Yeah.
work and say, "Oh, you're too cute. I quit. I
Right.
quit."
I mean,
My wife says no. I can't even be around any woman that's pretty. I'm sorry. I'm gone.
you want him to bring home the bacon, even if it's around some cute little piglets. I mean, it just is what it is. Just in case you're just checking in, this is Cat Talk on IntellectualRadio.com, and we're talking about snooping. Is snooping a disease? So this woman we're talking about that wrote this Dear Cat letter, she says that she's snooping through her husband's stuff and she's got some feelings about him and some women at work and she just can't stop. And it kind of is addicting, especially if you're searching for information. So if you have already made up in your mind that there's something to find, then yes, you're going to keep searching and searching and searching for that thing that you think that you're going to find that you're looking for. That's just like natural.
I think so. I think isn't there a saying like if you keep looking, you'll find. We ask all of you to go to Dear Cat and please chime in, put in your responses. We're going to try to get to them all and see what everyone is saying. And we had Valencia Jackson who said there's a difference in being a snooper and snooping for a reason. If there is something there, who gives? Who cares how you found it? Shouldn't it be it shouldn't be anything out there to find, but on a deeper level she should communicate that she feels that she is what she is missing with him, what he gives to these other women after bringing it to his attention, then he can be held accountable.
So that's the interesting thing, and I'm glad that Valencia shared. I appreciate that. But the funny thing is with women, when it comes to snooping, is that you really feel like you have the right to do so. And we follow that women's intuition. Don't follow that. That's a feeling. That's an emotion. And all the time, our emotions are not okay to follow. It's
not okay to follow our emotions.
We are not investigators. We're not following a hunch. We're not the police. Like, you can't be like, I have a hunch, so I'm going to go off this hunch. If you have a feeling, immediately talk to your significant other. Okay, you make it worse. What is your significant other there for? For you to, bounce things off, feelings, ideas, whatever the case may be. You do yourself and your relationship an injustice to say, I have an intuition that he's doing something because he wore something different today. And instead of expressing it, you decide to go investigate.
Instead of communicate.
Who gives you the right to decide to be a private investigator on someone?
I think there will be people who feel like being husband and wife gives you rights.
It gives you right to know. So ask.
It gives you right to get the answer. Is that what you're saying?
So ask. But it doesn't give you right to follow somebody to work and go through their pockets when they're asleep and search through their phones. Then why are you together? Because where is your trust? And what man wants to be with a woman that is private investigating them? Like, that's where's the fun? When you get through private investigating, how much do you like that person? How much time are you spending on that person? How much time are you spending on yourself?
So when she says that his he and ha with the women at work, it makes her feel like he's having a relationship that he doesn't have with her, and that is something she should probably address instead of saying what's going on with them. It's more of what's going on with us.
Exactly.
Okay, I get it.
Exactly. This is Cat Talk on IntellectualRadio.com, and we're talking about the disease of snooping.
Do you have the disease?
You could possibly have a touch of the snooping bug on you. I think that, and for men, it's in kind of in our nature. I don't know why. It could be a maternal thing. Maybe we're supposed to use this for our kids. Because my snooping and investigative skills when it comes down to the kids is impeccable. Like, I can see if you're the face twitching, a little laugh. If I want to get down to who did what, I can get them all lined up and I got it. But when it comes to another grown person, it's really not fair to put them in a position where you are snooping and investigating them.
So Flintstone says, he'll tell something we kind of said. He tell you something an old lady told him at one time. If you search for something hard enough, you'll eventually find it, even if there's nothing there. Mm-hmm. So if those coworkers were male, would you even be feeling this way? If yes, then there was a problem in your relationship before the woman. If no, then you could be creating one.
Absolutely. Because the truth of the matter is that if you have it stuck in your mind that he's possibly doing something, you're gonna take everything you see and you're going to put more stock into it.
That's true. Like she said, she was going through his texts and they seem flirtatious, which she feels gives her the right to snoop more, look more, because now she's reading into everything as having some flirtatious nature.
But also makes it so that when she doesn't really find concrete evidence of what she thinks, then she goes to, I think he's erasing them. So you have totally made up a whole situation. You made up a whole scenario in your mind of what you think that he's doing because you don't find anything concrete, because you going to look because you got that stuck in your mind and you really, really feel like and think that there's something to find. That kind of enhances the disease.
Okay, so Joseph Ratliff said he agrees with Flint, our last one, and he said, I think she never felt some sort of insecurity because her husband has never been consistently around women that she may have subconsciously viewed as a threat. So he's saying that this is the first time she may have dealt with feeling insecure because this is the first time he's been around other women that brought that out in her. So if your man has nothing to hide, in my opinion, just ask him about the messages. But you are creating a problem by doing all of that digging. You have to continue entrusting with your husband only has hots for you. A question that I have, though, is has he cheated in the past? Or why can't you trust him? Because you don't marry somebody you can't trust. At least I wouldn't.
So I feel like, and that's great, I appreciate you. I feel like she's kind of created this, has nothing to do with him. It's nothing to do with the ladies. It has a lot to do with her and her insecurity and herself. For one, her role with her husband. What does her husband mean to her? What is his role with her? Because if I have an issue, I'm going straight to my husband, whether it's kids, co-worker at work. You know how much we vent to, when we come home, kick off our shoes. Let me tell you about this lady. Let me tell you about this man who did this. They said that, these kids, these bills. So this is an issue that she's having. So she needs to vent it out to him. She also needs to give her husband the benefit of the doubt to make sure that he can put together what she needs. So she needs to be able to give him the benefit of doubt that he's not doing that and that he can help her through what she's going through.
Right. The problem isn't how you're responding to the coworkers at work. So if she goes to him with anger over his phone and his social media versus what the true problem is that I'm feeling a certain kind of way. He can't fix it. If you start saying coworkers at work, he was like, should I quit my job?
Right.
You want me to get off social media? You going off? Or they'll start arguing over the phone. You going through my phone? You do, instead of what is the root of the issue.
The root of the issue. This is Cat Talk on IntellectualRadio.com, just in case you're checking in. And we're talking about the disease of snooping. We have a writer wrote a Dear Cat letter that asks what she should do about finding things in her husband's phone. So she's going through his phone, she's going through his pockets, she's stalking his life out, the whole nine, because she's concerned that he's having some kind of interactions or relationships with women at his job. And I think that, off top, we discussed that she shouldn't compare herself to other women, but she should also spend some time, instead of snooping, with putting herself together. If she thinks that it's a certain type of woman that her husband likes, or she sees these women having these kind of interactions with her husband, maybe she should try to pull herself together to be that type of woman that he's interested in, that he likes, that he's attracted to, that he laughs and jokes with. Because if she continues to keep snooping, she just builds up this miserable feeling in herself, and her self-esteem is lower. And so now when he's around her, he might not want to be around her because she's not a fun, loving person to be around. Trust me, those women at work that he's laughing and joking with, they don't go through his phone. They don't stalk his, his messages,
his social media.
They don't do those things. They don't have to. They laugh and joke with him. Why don't you try that?
I think what's really hard in most of these is a lot of the letters, and I will address that all these letters are real. Every week we bring a letter, and every week I'm asked, are those real? Is that story real? These are totally real letters that people write in. We love them. Keep them coming to Dear Cat. But it's always at the end that the question is never what they should address. Her end question was, how do I confront him without telling on myself?
Yes.
I can't trust him. I can't stop looking, when the real issue is not him.
It's not. And it's really, really interesting from the first comment that we got from the first Facebook follower that said, it's a difference in just snooping and snooping with a purpose. There is no difference.
There isn't.
There's no difference. And and this writer whom I actually know wants validation.
Right.
They want validation to say, girl, you want me to say, hey, girl, let me tell you what you do. You pretend that your friend told you about this girl that you found in the text, and you don't, so that you don't get in trouble. But the truth of the matter is that you need to, you kind of need to get yourself in trouble, because you need this to stop. Like, you need something that's going to blow up on you or be locked away from you so that you get to the root of the problem versus finding a way around it. Because if she finds another way to come to her husband about the woman that she suspects that he's dealing with, all she's gonna do is keep snooping.
That's true.
Say she finds out he's cheating. Say she calls the woman flat out and she says, hey, I found your number. I see your messages. What's going on with you and my husband? And the lady denies it.
Because it probably may not be anything.
It may not be anything, but it could be. But in this day and age, being a side chick is glorified more than anything in the world.
That's true.
So if he's not laughing and joking with his wife, he probably is laughing and joking with this woman. For one, his wife has just turned into an investigating stalker. Her intentions and her thought process and her energy has gone into catching him up versus catching up with him.
I like that.
And being with her man. Right. So she's not who she used to be.
She's Nancy Drew instead of
his wife. And so he needs to go and find him some laughs and jokes. And he might be finding the laughs and jokes with this lady. But what happens if you call her and she answers the phone and she tells you, oh, we just work together. It's nothing, no big deal. We're working on a project together at work. And it's no big deal.
Now what?
And now what? Now, do you feel stupid and stop? No. Most women don't feel. They never feel
they
stupid.
They go to prove that she's lying.
Yeah, okay. I got you. You lying.
She's lying.
And then you search more. And you keep searching. And you keep searching till you break your own heart. Because the truth of the matter is, can you really handle this truth you're looking for?
No, probably not.
Most of the time, most women can't.
I like to, I'm reading some of the ones from our Stezo radio family that answered. And so shout out to you guys. And Cindy said, this is the first time your husband has interacted with a woman. Or is this the first time? Or is this the first time you've noticed it? Things just don't happen overnight. Because if he was acting like this at the company picnic, he has always acted like that. You only noticed because all eyes weren't on you. Now all of a sudden you want to make an issue about something that may have always been an issue. You just never saw it. You wanting more attention from your husband instead of confronting the issue, your issue, you're sneaking around looking for something that isn't there.
That's a great point, because the truth of the matter is that maybe she wasn't giving him attention before. And maybe that's why he's laughing and joking with these women and he's interacting with them in this way, because he might do that all the time. And then there goes our intuition, the fake intuition that we have. Not saying that some women don't have it. We do. But it's a feeling. It's just a feeling. It's a feeling that says, hey, wait a minute. He's laughing with another woman. We don't laugh together anymore. Why? That might be your fault.
That's true.
It might not be just because he started working with these women. Now he's laughing and joking with them and he doesn't laugh and joke with me. You all may have not laughed and joked for quite some time. You might need to check yourself and see what it is.
If you ever really had that relationship ever, which I think she may have even said he doesn't do it with me, but could that be that you never did it and some of it may be you?
Yeah.
Stezo said that he's kind of, first off, he can't believe that she even was honest enough to admit that she feels threatened by other women.
And that's good. And women do that, but we do it sometimes, most of the time, to each other. Like I said, I know this person. So it's easier to say, hey, you know what? That girl was so pretty that he was with. And we can do that to one another in the woman's face. I'm sure, you jealous of me and I'm all that. But I do appreciate the honesty, because most women do feel that way. Most women do. Most women are intimidated by Instagram models, girls that are smaller than them. Anytime a woman is different than you, and your man is entertaining somebody different than you,
something you feel you can't have or don't have within yourself,
absolutely,
then it brings up some feelings
it
of
brings up some
insecurity.
feelings. This is Cat Talk IntellectualRadio.com, just in case you're just checking in. We are talking about snooping. Is snooping a disease? Our letter writer has asked us to actually help her to tell her husband about his indiscretions, so she thinks, and do it in a private way so that she doesn't get in trouble. That's not going to happen.
Now, okay, so Susan brought up another point that maybe the husband does need to chill with the texting, though, that maybe he still is doing some things that he shouldn't be doing in this relationship. It sounds like
absolutely,
she is catching him up a little bit in some of the things that are not appropriate
and that
for
goes
the
back to
relationship.
the intuition. I'm not saying ignore it, but don't go in full investigative mode, because there's something in his actions that sparked her to feel the way she feels. But she can't go into investigative mode. She has to talk to him about it.
That's the main thing.
That's the main
all these
thing.
things that start off by her problem is not how to not bring it to him about the snooping. The problem is to deal with her insecurities. I'm feeling a certain kind of way with you and these ladies at work, and deal with that. I think she needs to start with herself, though. Why am I feeling like this?
Absolutely.
Before she even brings it to him?
Absolutely, because if she were confident, and most women that are very confident, and I don't care what you look like. If you don't look like the typical model, if you look, whatever you look like, if you are confident, she would have walked into that company picnic and said, I know that you might be the CEO and you might be the CFO and you might be the supervisor of pencils, but baby, I am all of that, and I'm his wife, and he chose me and he brought me, and here I am. And when they were laughing, she'd have went over there and ha ha ha, and he and laughed right with them. Instead, she sat off in the back saying, oh wow, this is what he does, and then her wheels started turning, and now she created more insecurity for herself,
right?
And she created a problem for herself, because if she wasn't laughing and joking with him before, I'm sure she's not laughing and joking with him now that she feels like he's doing something.
Like you said, the Nancy Drew woman he's with now is not going to be fun, because every time he picks up his cell phone, she's going to be looking, who is he texting? What is he doing? Oh, he's on social media. Who is he? She's not the fun person I don't see any laughter coming out of this relationship right now. So now he will find solace in being at work with the fun women who are pretty to look at and entertaining, and don't go through my phone. And because he may even kind of feel that she's
looking through his stuff.
Maybe.
Possibly. He could possibly feel like that because her attitude has changed. You cannot find out information, especially about your significant other, husband, not a woman, and still act like things is cool. It's just not gonna happen.
You gonna get my roll of the eyes, my nose up every time you pick up your phone. Something's gonna happen. I'm
gonna be short with my conversation. I'm not gonna wash them clothes or cook that food or that meal like I used to. And if you care, you're gonna say what's wrong. He hasn't. Seems like in here he hasn't figured out or said what's wrong. I hope that eventually he does, because if he doesn't, means he's not paying attention to you. And he should be paying attention to you.
That's true.
And so I think that that's like a bigger thing that she needs to look at, is the fact that she has the opportunity to snoop as much as she's snooping.
So what did someone said, Flint said, but if you're married, you should be comfortable with your mate. I'm not a jealous person. My girl can giggle and laugh with guys all she wants, as long as she doesn't cross that line. But if she did, she's going to get X right there. So
I get that. The thing is when your mate steps out of your face, you don't have any more control. You don't have a choice but to trust. You don't. Unless they give you a reason to do otherwise, then you have to work that out, or you gotta X them, and you gotta get out of there. You cannot watch somebody 24/7 and looking at their social media or even looking through their phone. Hey, I know some super cold cheaters. I mean, they can cheat. They can cheat at the game, life. They can cheat, and you just will never ever know. I don't care how much you snoop. You can't follow somebody around life trying to figure out their every move.
I really think it's more of her, or I feel it could be a lot of her insecurities. And true, though, it could be that he has found something in these women that he hasn't had before, and it is piquing his interest, that okay, I do like talking to you. You are fun, and I don't get this at home. And it could be a mixture of both.
I think that she has to tell him.
She
She's
has to
going to
tell him.
have to tell on herself. She's going to have to go from A to Z and say when these feelings started, why they started, how she's been handling them, that she's been snooping. She's going to have to tell
All of it.
all of it. All of it.
What I
Because
tell
otherwise
all of it.
she's being just as dishonest as she's accusing him of being.
That's true.
If she tells him any array of lies of how she came to get information of thinking that he's entertaining another woman, she's being just as deceitful as he is.
That's true.
Then she might as well just stop or continue or take a different route. She has to tell him, hey, I was feeling this kind of way because of the women at your job. And when that happened, you start acting like this. So I start doing this. I'm wrong. She has to admit she's wrong.
Okay,
I'm
now
wrong.
that would help.
I'm wrong, and I should not have taken that route that I took. I should have come to you first, but I didn't. So in that, I asked for your forgiveness. But this is what I found when I was snooping. Who is this? Explain.
I hope she's writing this down. If she's listening, please write down that, follow that, everything Kat said, do that exactly. That's what should be done.
Really? Because he has to explain that. Like, okay, like our first follower said, you get the information, doesn't matter how you got it. It does. It does matter how you get information. If you in a court of law and you obtain that information the wrong way, that
inadmissible.
Inadmissible. That gets thrown out. And the funny thing is, what women don't realize when they go to snooping is when you bring that information up, because usually they wind up finding something that's so out of the box, they immediately, what is this? And then they caught right then. So she's lucky. She didn't even find nothing like crazy. She didn't find no pictures. She didn't find no, come to see me tonight. Text last night was great. She didn't find none of that. She found some suspect stuff. Most women that go snooping and get what they looking for find something so outrageous that they tell on themselves immediately because they just can't hold it in. They go right to telling on
That's
themselves.
me. So I don't even try. I'm horrible. Why? Because I'm going to bring it up. I can't hold water. If I find out something, it's not going to wait until I investigate. I write Kat. I'm not going to hold it in long enough to write Kat a long letter. I'm going to go, I see it in the phone and I try not to do it.
The thing is, if you do hold it in long like that, it just makes for more stuff in your head. So she probably went from being insecure about these women to, I bet he, bought her those shoes and paid her rent, and he didn't come in last night.
I'm real creative like that.
On Facebook, they had a meeting. A party and a meeting, and he was there, and I bet she was there, and she was there, and I bet they were there together. And so
I saw the pictures on social media.
So she's taking the whole thing and making it like a
whole relationship. He came home late that day. She's making it a lot worse, and I know I'm that type of person, or used to be. See, I'm working on myself.
And that's how a lot of women now I'm a different type of person. I go feeling first. Now I'm talking to you because I know I might be wrong. My intuition is not an exact science.
Women, your intuition is not an exact science.
My feelings, I have all kind of feelings all throughout the day. I'm probably one of the moodiest people that I know. And so my feelings are not definite. And so just because I feel like I think you might have said this or that, I have to ask.
I'm really getting better at that. Thank goodness I go to Journey to Wholeness Center myself. And I utilize yoga on. I get some mental stuff going on too. It help how I think. Go to some of these workshops.
It's absolutely necessary. Just in case you're tuning in to Cat Talk on IntellectualRadio.com, we're talking about snooping. Is snooping a disease? We have a letter from a writer that says that she's been snooping and she wants to hit her husband with the information, but she just doesn't know how without telling on herself.
Well, David Roberts said it's never a good idea to go snooping. And I wouldn't confront him about the messages either. If someone is cheating, the truth will show. But if you reveal to him that you have been snooping and he is innocent, the trust is gone. It sounds like she was being insecure. I don't know what he did at the company picnic, but it sounds like she felt some type of way about the attractive women at his job. I can only imagine what the ride home was like.
Oh, absolutely. And you know what's funny is I thought about that. So they had this ride home and they argued the whole way. And most men don't pick up on those cues that we send out, but some men do. And maybe if he had been in tune with her and they were like, rocking with each other like they should be, he would have noticed, hey, you're acting crazy now after you've seen these ladies. And he should have or could have addressed it then.
Yes.
And so they're going to have a major issue because she may keep snooping and A, she might get caught, or B, she might see something that's so outrageous that she tells on herself, or C, she might just tell on herself because she needs to get it out and confront him about what's going on, which is a great, wonderful thing. I think she should do that. Go ahead and, throw yourself on the mercy of the court. But after that, what happens after that? How does he feel about her after that? Can he trust her? She says his phone is not password protected. That's because he doesn't think that his wife, or anybody for that matter, is going through it. And when a man locks his phone, doesn't just mean he's doing something wrong. When anybody
I locked my phone. I think Apple made me do it. I don't want to.
I feel like the phones nowadays do make you lock them, but it doesn't necessarily mean that I have something to hide. It might mean that I'm just doing something or have something going on, and I'm dealing with a person that may not understand.
Right? Isn't it okay? This is a whole. I don't know. This takes us off topic. But is it okay? Isn't it okay for him to have female friends that are more attractive than her? No.
That's a whole nother show.
That's another show. We'll put that on the back burner. Don't answer that. That's next week.
Because that really, really dives into crossing that line of friendship with females and males and her security. She got to be super secure. I think that with her snooping, once she does admit to it and ask for his forgiveness like she needs to, she's going to have to, instead of dealing with what he did, now she's going to have to deal with what she did. Because most men, when they catch you snooping, they don't even talk about what you found. Why did you go through my stuff?
They don't care what you found. It will never be the discussion ever of what you found, how you felt about what you found. He is going to lose it over you going through his stuff, and that's going to be the majority of the conversation.
And you gave him that. You gave him that leverage to go there. And so instead of you talking about what he did, which most women are going to go haywire about what you did, they have that leverage to say, but wait a minute, let's not talk about
let's not talk about what I did. Why are you
going through my stuff? One, did I give you a reason to go through my stuff? Two, why you don't trust me? What you doing? I mean, hey,
yeah, that's true.
My brothers, they have an amazing way of turning those tables around.
Most men do.
And when they get through hashing this out, she gonna be telling him she's sorry.
Dedrick said he can't trust you, and that's exactly how it would go. That he will flip it all the way around, and this is going to be about, since you're doing all this snooping, what are you doing? I mean, this could totally turn
into a whole different thing.
Now, Bruce Thompson said, but put God first, and you will have peace.
True, that's very true. Only thing I'm going to respond to that is that when you put God in things, which always do, don't let it go though. Don't stop doing the work.
Yes.
Absolutely. She needs to pray for herself first, then her relationship, her husband. She has to deal with herself first. She can't put herself in the hands of the Lord and then keep going through his phone.
And that's true, because God may mention peace is finding the answer to her, what she's looking for. I mean, there's interpretations of God. So I think sometimes you may have to go a little bit deeper into how you're feeling to heal versus just leaving it at the God handling it. It may take a little bit more work. So Caesar wants to know, is there a difference between snooping and just being nosy?
Not really. It's the same thing. I mean, I think snooping might have more of a purpose. Nosy is just, I want to know anything. So that would be the difference. Nosy, I just want to know anything. It's stuff that don't even pertain to me. Like the old lady on the bus. And it's of something going on outside and she's standing up.
That's nosy.
Because she wants to look. She's just being nosy. Whatever they have going on, it's not going to do anything for you on this bus. It's not going to help you. It's not going to hurt you. So it's a difference. Snooping, I'm looking with the purpose. Like our first.
Like Valencia, I think it said.
I'm looking with a purpose. I'm looking to find something, which is way worse. Because if I'm just nosy, I'm just happy. I might happen upon something because I just.
And you have no right to be nosy, though.
You have no right to.
You have no right to go through my phone just because you're nosy.
Well, what happens when you're nosy is you don't have a life of your own. So I go to poke into other people so I can see what's going on. Because if I have a fulfilled life full of things and fun and joy, I don't have time to go through what Wanda's doing and who she's looking at on her phone and who did your hair and why they do you this and that like that. I don't have time for that because I'm too busy doing my own hair. And people, that's the difference between nosy.
Okay, so there are people that think that she won't tell on herself. The chances of a woman telling on herself and telling everything are about as possible as Donald Trump getting a standing ovation at a Cinco de Mayo party. Thank you.
So she's not going to tell everything. Of course she's not.
I was going to say, that's kind of a stretch for her to really be that open-minded and zen to be like, I'm going to sit down with you. I'm insecure. I picked up your phone. I went through the phone. I only went through the phone because I was insecure about the women at your job. I mean, that is the perfect way to handle it. The absolute perfect way to handle it.
But she is going to tell on herself by default.
By default, she is.
She's going to tell on herself because she's going to get overly emotional. And he's not going to address what she found. He's going to go so hard with addressing what she did that she's not going to have a choice but to say, no, because I found it. And don't let him start lying. If he started lying, she's going to tell on herself because she has to prove that
I found it in your phone, so now I know you're lying.
He's gonna say, well, I don't even text message women in my phone, and she's gonna say you're lying because I wrote the number down and I'll call it right now, and it's a woman, and I called it private, and they answered it. It's a woman.
So I know it's a woman. You're lying.
And she's gonna tell on herself.
You're right. Slim Beanie says, so he doesn't get any trust because the ladies at his job look good. Is that it? I mean,
thank you. Thank you. That's all I'm saying. You gotta be secure in yourself. I don't care if my husband goes around Beyonce. I'm probably gonna be more starstruck, in her face than he is.
Well,
but at the same time, I'm not going to think less of myself because he's in her presence. Even if he was working with her every day, and God forbid she take my husband, I'm gonna be like, hey girl, I lost my husband to Beyonce.
No, I think everybody gets a pass if they lose their husband to Beyonce and Janet Jackson.
Yeah,
they get to have them.
I'm gonna be like, hey, you know what?
But they gotta take me too.
Right.
I'm coming with you.
Don't forget the kids. My kid's stepmother is Beyonce.
Dwayne Goodlow says, should he not speak to anyone because his wife might find them attractive? If his wife finds other women attractive, then he is no longer allowed to even have conversations and laugh and joke with attractive women ever?
And how miserable is that?
That sounds miserable.
That's very, very miserable. For both of them.
Yes.
For both of them, it's miserable. Like, how many jobs do you want him to go to? You want him to go work at a monastery with monks? I mean, what do you want him to do? And this is the killing part. He doesn't even know she feels like this.
That's true. But is there a level to laughing now? Because you can do it, but you can't go, oh, girl. I mean, is there a cutoff to how friendly we get with the laughing?
Now, in her defense, don't get it twisted. When a woman wants your man.
Exactly.
He on your man.
The laughing is going a little far there.
There is a level to laughing. Some of the stuff that she's saying is not off. It's just the way she's obtaining the information.
Exactly.
Even the Facebook stuff or the in social media that she's doing. And she's like, some ladies like a little too much. Now, if you going on and you liking, now you shouldn't be watching to that point. But you might be onto something that a woman is going on there and liking and making little flirty comments and this and that. And you can tell if a woman is, that's funny. So when they, you can tell.
That is really funny.
It's so funny. Yeah. You can.
You're like, wait a minute. Pull that back some.
But if she was a secure, confident woman, she would have been on that right then.
She would have went straight to him.
It would have been no letter. The letter would have been.
It would have been no letter. It's like, who is so and so?
It would have been a different letter. My husband's mad at me because he lost his job because I came for her immediately and cut that right there and there because I'm the wife and this is what I do. Period, point blank.
Because I'm the wife and I cut it off.
I cut it.
Cut it.
Say, hey. Truth
You
be
are
told.
silly.
Truth be told.
There is a level to laughing, y'all, for real. That's true, isn't it? I think there's a level to how you.
It's a tone and way that you can do everything. It's a way I can hit you. I could punch you and knock you out, but I could tap you
The
and
little
get you
tap, the love tap.
give you a love tap, and I know.
a-
And I know
Right,
exactly what
right.
it is that I'm doing.
We know what we're doing, right?
Yeah, we know.
This is girl talk here. A little bit of this. We know what we're talking about. There's a level to the laugh, and you get to hee and ha, but you don't get to hee ha ha.
Yeah.
I think.
Just in case you're just tuning in to Cat Talk, we are talking about snooping. Snooping, is it a disease? I think yes. We discussing this on IntellectualRadio.com.
I think women have it.
And I think that women have it. And I think more women need to discuss it and they need to be open about it. And I think men need to be aware that we're looking. When you pop open your phone for a text message, if we're close enough, we're gonna take a glance.
We're gonna take a little glance.
And we notice how many times that phone dings and beeps. We just do. Now, how we react to it is something different.
I'm not gonna call the woman though. I'm not gonna call any women.
If we start losing it, if you sitting and you check your message and a woman come and she respond like, who is that? I'm sorry, dead that, because that's a potential problem. But if we take a glance and look and keep on going with our lives, regardless of what it is, knowing that it may or may not be a woman, I don't know. It's just in our nature to.
In our nature to kind of peek.
Yeah,
I mean that's the motherly part of us, right?
Yeah, it's in our nature. It doesn't mean it's right, but it is what it is.
Ace Smooth said these are the results of being insecure and jealous. Something that she said you never were, which is true. She said at the beginning she wasn't insecure or jealous. Did your husband change or did you? You need to apologize to your husband for snooping. Wait for the light to reveal to you what you think is in the dark and stop letting your suspicions and paranoia dictate your actions.
I agree 100%. The funny thing is that she's looking for something. She's having these insecure feelings and jealousy. She needs to own that. She's jealous and insecure. And she needs to take a big look at, can she handle the truth? She couldn't handle the ladies at the job laughing. You think if she approaches him with, the text messages or whatever, and he tells her, you know what? I'm glad you brought this up. I'm kind of glad you went through my phone. I actually have been doing XYZ.
Oh, she did.
She did.
Oh, no. Resuscitate her.
Yeah.
Or she's going to turn to the woman and want to kill her. They never get mad at the man. They're going to turn it off and want to go chase the woman down, kill her, and scratch her car, bust her windows. And it's going down.
And never look at herself.
Never look at herself. She's going to turn to the lady at work and it's all her fault, the new job's fault, everybody's fault except hers of her insecurities.
I should have never let him work at that job.
Michael Merrill said, you're pushing him to them. If you tripping all the time for nothing, and I say nothing because nothing changed until you see the females he works with, and now it's a problem. Now when he comes home, he has to hear this and getting accused of things, and the females at work cool, and they're not tripping. You do the math, which is something you said, that you're not fun wife anymore. No. You're
naggy, buggy,
Nancy Drew wife, going through my phone,
getting on my last nerve. You keep asking me over and over from cheating. I know I'm not doing. For one, if he knows that he's not doing anything, if you accuse a man of cheating and he really isn't doing anything, you do not know how detrimental that is.
That is the hardest part. That is breaking your relationship.
My man on
right
Facebook, back me up on that. Let me know if I'm right. Because if you bug the crap out of a man and he is righteous and coming home and trying to do what he need to do for you and put his blinders on when he in a room full of girls that's ready to go, but only has his eyes on you, and you start accusing him of doing something he is not doing, you will lose.
Every time, because nobody wants a nagging woman, especially when they're innocent. I think women can take that easier than a man. If you get on them like that about something they're not doing and not address the real issue, you're causing more problems in your relationship than you had before. Dwayne Goodlow says, snooping and didn't find anything, but has talked herself into the idea that something could be amiss. She's looking for something, so she's decided she's found it.
Yeah, she has, and she's made it up, and that's the horrible thing about snooping.
Sad.
Because if you snoop with the mindset that I know something's going on, my intuition told me, I got a feeling, and when you go to look for it, every little thing looks like something wrong. It could be a high at 9 o'clock in the morning. That could be a supervisor that he said, call me, send me a message and make sure you wait, remind me or whatever. It could be interpreted in any different way. But when you have your mindset that it's something negative, then it's something negative. It doesn't even matter what it is.
And she's scrutinizing it that minutely because she's like, I went through that text and there's something a little flirting there. And she's going to drive herself crazy.
Yeah, she's going to drive herself crazy. And that's the thing. Once she does tell on herself, and she will by default or otherwise, where do they go after that? And does she stop snooping? Because it is a disease. When you are an insecure woman, snooping, it is a disease. I am guilty of having the disease. I think most women are.
I'm guilty of it, and I think we work towards not falling prey to the disease.
It takes effort.
It takes effort.
I trust you. I'm going to ride out with what you're saying until you give me reason otherwise. And if I do feel that way or see or think I see something, I'm going to communicate immediately before I go making stuff up. Because once you make stuff up in your mind, you're gone.
Sometimes I have to communicate with myself. Yeah. Why am I feeling insecure? What do I need to deal with? What happened? What am I not doing? What am I seeing? Why am I having this distrust when he's giving me no reason to? So now... maybe the issue is that I'm noticing we don't have this in our relationship and I like to have it. Right. So now then I realize I would turn this more internal and not even bring it to him till you really internalize it and say, I'm feeling this way and it's making me do this. I don't want to feel this way. I don't want to do this. So now I think I want that in my relationship with him. I want us to be able to laugh and joke like he is with those other women. And how do I get that from him? What do I need to do to get that from the man I love? And I
really appreciate that you said that, because in real life, it's unfortunate for a man. If you do have a man that's not doing anything and you put all that on him, that's a lot. That's not fair to him.
To fix you or our relationship totally. I mean, you have to come to the table whole.
An insecure woman breaks the relationship. You're breaking our relationship up, and now it's on him. You put it on him. It's his fault, and it's his responsibility to fix you so that you can fix us, so we can be back whole. And it's really, really not fair, especially in a scenario where you're snooping, because this man doesn't even know that she thinks like that.
And honestly, I really feel if he's leaving his phone open, he's probably not. It's a lot of work. Men don't really go through all of that to go deleting half messages, just the part where you said something. Will they do that? Will they just lock the phone?
I mean, they could, but see, that's a whole nother thing, because if you have an insecure woman and you lock your phone, now you're hiding something. And I said, just because someone has their phone locked or they want to have some kind of privacy, it's like being mad at me because I close the door when I go to the bathroom. Yeah, babe, we love each other and all, but I don't want you to smell that. It's not because I'm in here texting or talking to somebody or doing something that I'm not supposed to be doing. I'm trying to help you out. I'm trying to protect you.
This is for you.
This is for you. But we got that chip.
Smell this hot zoo.
Yeah, but we got that chip on our shoulder that he trying to get over on me. He trying to play me. He think he gonna do me. He not gonna do me. He not trying to do you. He knows you, and he knows there's certain things you can't handle. You can't handle the fact that he has a female supervisor that he has to keep in contact with, because his job requires him to be on call. So when she texts him, hey, I know you tired from last night, but I hope everything is good today and you ready, doesn't mean that ready for getting it on. It means ready for a work day. So you call his boss. You don't know who that is. You call his boss back. Now he fired because you got an old crazy insecure wife.
Okay, so what do you think? It's being said, Kat, that what you're saying is true, but some men like a little jealousy from their lady, so they think she's still into them.
And some men do. And that's why she needs to just tell on herself, because she doesn't know how it's going to go. It could go where he says, you know what, babe, it might give him the push of attention that he's been looking for.
That she hasn't been giving him any attention until now.
And it might show, you know what, you do care. You care. You look at you. Look at my babe, all jealous and stuff.
Jealous of the pretty women at work.
But it gives him an opportunity to help her. It gives him an opportunity to ease her insecurities, her fears, and her worries. She has to give him that chance. She's not allowing him the chance to do anything for her. She's making him guilty before proven innocent. He's already guilty. She's not letting him do what he need to do as a husband.
Now, Donovan Price says, I personally think that if you feel like you need to research and investigate, you might want to leave your husband alone. Sounds harsh, but You can't allow another human to have dominion over your spirit like that. Life is too short. I used to be an Inspector Gadget back in the day. I realized how unhealthy it was for me. I wasn't hurting anyone but myself. My philosophy nowadays is to play it cool. If my significant is doing anything wrong, eventually she's going to gain enough rope to hang herself, which then at that point, my only responsibility is to kick away the chair.
I agree with him to a point.
To a point.
When you are married to someone, it's different than just being in a relationship with them. So when you're married to someone, you exhaust all possibilities when having issues in your relationship. It is easy for him to say that as a man because they don't. It's like, hey, oh, you getting emotional? I'm out of here. And they don't work in the emotional realm like we do. We show all the emotion. We could do it in 1 minute. Happy, sad, mad, furious. We do that. So it's easy for him to say, well, I've been in that situation and this person makes me act like this. And I don't like acting like this. So I'm going to get away from this person like the person is toxic. But if you weigh your pros and cons and you have better, more better days than you have bad days, then you have to work on getting those better days up. So you can't just say, well, I'm just going to, well, you make me a bad person. It's like a woman beater.
Exactly.
Well, you made me beat you. Well, no, we got to figure out what it is that makes you like you. So she needs to work on herself. And she can't just leave her husband because he makes her feel insecure. Well, then all men are going to make her feel insecure.
If you can look at the women at his job and say they're beautiful, they're professional, and I feel a certain kind of way, that's your issue right there. I need you to start dealing with. There are going to be women that are prettier than you around you 24/7 for the rest of your life. And if that makes you feel a certain way because the man you're with is around pretty women, you're always going to have issues.
So leaving him won't make a difference.
Leaving him won't make a difference. The next man she loves around a very pretty woman, she's going to feel the exact way with. This isn't a him thing. This is a her thing that needs to be repaired. Tony, one of faithful dear Cat, Tony Allen says, first off, Cat, your hair is so
Tony.
Cute.
Thank you.
Second, this woman needs to address her concerns with her husband and have a conversation with him. She's snooping because she's becoming insecure. She first needs to address her issue with herself. We so agree with you, Tony.
Absolutely.
With herself. And if her actual insecurity comes from her feelings of not measuring up to these other women or his behavior, because that could be a component too we haven't talked about yet. If it is from his behavior, then a conversation about acceptable spousal behavior needs to be had. If the conversation comes from the standpoint of how she is feeling versus whether or not he's cheating, he can change his behavior for the sake of her feelings. But if her insecurities come from herself, she needs to do introspection and self-correction.
Hey, Tony just said it all. Tony just said it all. I appreciate that. And I agree with you, Tony, 100%. That is our time. This was a great topic, and I appreciate and love all my Facebook followers that chimed in. Keep chiming in. Well, as soon as I'm done with
we're going to keep talking about this.
We're going to keep talking about this. I hope that this letter and topics help someone today.
Hope so.
And thanks for tuning in. And make sure you tune in again next week at 2 on Cat Talk, IntellectualRadio.com.